you've been at multiple brokerages, and that is one of the main lifelines for an agent, which is your brokerage, the people at the brokerage, and potentially the people on your team. And there's so many different models out there for people. Maybe you can talk about your journey as an agent, in which brokerages you were with, which one you are now, why you made those decisions, and what you think is really important for agents, because the people around you will also help you with your mindset, and they'll help you with your strategy.
Right.
They'll help you achieve your goal.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is why I stayed at REMAX for 16 years, because I had a relationship with the top supervising principal broker in the city. He never hired a new agent before. I was the first one, because he knew that 2 years later, likely 87% or 80% of the time at 2 years, they're done. They're not going to renew their license. They give up. So his policy was come back in 2 years. But we hit it off so well that I guess I closed him pretty hard. He just started laughing. He was like, what am I going to do? All right, I'm going to try this. We met every week, at least once a week, sometimes twice. We go out for lunch. I mean, he just taught me to have someone who has 30 years experience at the top of the game available to you for immediate answers to quandaries. It's invaluable. That was Rod Reddick. He's an amazing guy. So, but REMAX wasn't offering much. Like, they're old school. Like all the big brokerages that are, household names, they've been around forever, and they don't change that much, right? When things got slow, I went to Rod. I'm like, what should I do? It's like, well, door knocking, cold calling, and personal love. I was like, I don't think that's going to fix the recession that we're having in 2009. So I switched to a very high-tech brokerage, cutting edge. I love cutting edge stuff. That didn't work because the owner of that brokerage was not a good guy. I'm not naming any name, but he basically spent everyone's desk fee that he had them pay in advance, and then he had to leave the country. It was not pretty.
Oh man.
But it's 2011 at this point. So I thought, well, maybe what I need is a brokerage that doesn't charge me anything, so I can save money, right? So I went to one of these brokerages that I can't remember. It was like $1,000 a year or something. They literally did nothing for me. Ended up, they put their hand in my pocket for a $10,000 commission that I had in writing from them that they weren't going to do when I left the company and went back to REMAX. It was like, oops, these were mistakes. I should go back to what was working. That didn't last very long. I went to Keller Williams because they were now the new bright, shiny object. And they definitely had improved the industry. But the common factor with every other brokerage, except for the one that I'm in now, is that they have their like aha moment, like, we're going to start a company like this. It's going to be better. It's a new, better mousetrap. But then they don't evolve, right? They if anything, it gets worse, because as they grow, the things that were so cool about them kind of fall apart. So I switched from KW to EXP. And my basic agreement with every one of these brokerages, leave me alone. This is my business. I'll have the benefit of knowing that I have E&O insurance through you, someone supervising my work. That helps with liability a little bit, depending on if they show up when you need them or not. But that was it. And I paid over $250,000 just in desk fees over my career. And that's net. Right, I did not get any of that, not a penny of that back until moving to Epique Realty, and it's like the new kid on the block. Except we've been around for 3 years. We're in over 30 states, and when I started in October, we had 415 agents. I was the 415th, and now it's over 2,700. So that kind of growth in a year's time. There's some growing pains, right? But the reason that people are coming over is that let's just say it this way, on average, because they're offering 40 benefits, most of which other brokerages don't offer at all, it saves each agent in the company an average of $15,000 net a year. So I'm subtracting out the desk fee, the cap from that, and it's life changing, right? And that's one way to make up for the cost of living increase that I mentioned earlier. There was by this economist estimate at $12,000 more to do the same business, but you can't do the same business today and have the success you were having 5 years ago, because you need to be competing with people that are higher tech than you, that are more cutting edge than you, that are reaching out to their clients in a more meaningful way, right? So I made a short list of some of the benefits that just add up, because people think, well, that doesn't make any sense because they're not making any money. But they charge $150 a month. The company doesn't have any debt whatsoever, zero debt. So there's no reason for them to fail. And from that $150 a month, they've negotiated these benefits so well that it covers it, right? So there's no risk of them going under because they're too generous. But what I came to was like, why isn't every brokerage giving back to their agents like this? Why does it seem like they're lining their pockets as much as possible at the highest level? And it's a new way of doing real estate. Honestly, it's I've never seen anything like it, because nothing has ever existed like this. So I'll be brief. I did a video on this. It goes into more detail, but the transaction coordinator that they provide, that's saving, if you do 10 deals a year, that's a $4,000 savings. That's just one of the 40 benefits. They're doing listing photos. If you do 10 deals, it's $3,000. It's hard to do listing photos for less than $300 a listing. And, some of these expenses are out of pocket whether you sell the house or not. So you're going to spend money on photos. You're going to spend money on your TC that preps the deal. It's amazing, just those two things alone. But then they're also doing primary health care, urgent care 24/7, free prescriptions, roadside assistance, free car washes, veterinary medicine is available 24/7. It's things that agents want, because the leaders who started this company are agents themselves, and they know, like, it's a lot to balance if you're running across town to deal with the sign installation. I mean, that takes hours of your life every time you have to do that. They do that for free. I mean, it's amazing how many little things that I just took for granted, like, this is on me, no one's going to help me with this, and all of a sudden now I'm like, this seems too good to be true, right? Why isn't everyone doing this? And it's a more generous way of doing business.